Happy Brattleboro, everybody. A very long overdue episode of Sunflower's Court. Today we talk to Josh from the Brattleboro Historical Society and Instagram page Historical Brattleboro. Camera file, for lack of a better word. He walks us through his passions, his cameras, and his encyclopedic knowledge of every spot, landmark in Brattleboro. It's amazing, and he walks us through a photo he takes with his very special camera, old film of the oldest building in Brattleboro. It's very fascinating. This is like a 3 or 4 part series, and again, long overdue. Hope you enjoy Sunflower's Court. Daryl Sunflower, Clank.
Not a lot of time, honestly.
You mind holding this?
That's fine.
All right, great.
How's that?
That's perfect. I can see you. See you metering. All right, Josh. How you doing? It's been a long day to get. Thank you. Afterward, which one was it? Which one were you working here at the historical? Wait, so that's another thing. Let's start. Okay, you're in Sunflower's Court. I'm all over the place.
It's all good.
That is it. All right. Yes. So.
Should I do the Henry Rollins?
Or perhaps right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Right there. There you go.
All right.
Perfect. So, what's up, Josh? We are in one of your. We were just talking many jobs, and they're all involving Brattleboro, correct?
Yeah. So this is a volunteer position here. We're at the Historical Society.
Amen.
I was voted in as the vice president not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of stumbling my way through it. I've never done anything like this before. But they were all insistent that, if you show up, you just put the work in, things will just sort of fall into place. And that's kind of...
How long were you involved with them before that happened? Or you just had an aura of, because of your water and experience.
Yeah, so...
I can't wait to get into, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it struck me as interesting. I mean, I've been in this area since 2011,
mm-hmm.
and I started back then just learning all of these little things that just happened to take place in Brattleboro, and I'd always just kind of tuck it away. I was like, yeah, that's pretty interesting, like the fact that Rudyard Kipling lived here, and H.P. Lovecraft staged some of his novels here, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's like anything else. Like the more you look for, the more you'll learn. And so that led into it snowballed into all this other stuff. And then, so anyway, I was a student at UMass at the time.
Is that where were you? Is that where you were born? Where were you born?
No, I was born on an Air Force base in California, actually. But I don't have any memories from there. I moved from there when I was very young.
Which one?
It was called March Air Force Base, okay. But it's gone now. It's not gone. It's just not, as far as I know, not an active base anymore.
And what were your first memories of where?
Well, from there, so my parents were both in the Air Force. We got transferred to Bossier City, Louisiana, so Barksdale Air Force Base, and that's actually where I grew up. So I grew up outside of Shreveport.
I always wanted to. Top Gun got me into flight simulators, but I realized that was the Navy. I'm pretty sure, right? And then I have acute stigmatism, and I was like, yeah, I found out you couldn't do that.
Yeah, they're pretty picky.
Yeah. Did your parents were they pilots?
No. So my dad was an aircraft mechanic, crew chief. And then my mom was a nurse.
Nice, dude. And so that's also. And then what did was that what led you to go into the service?
Yeah, it's just a combination of factors. I mean, you grow up in that town, you're around the military constantly, so it's mostly Air Force, right? I mean, it's a bomber base. It's like B-52s flying over all the time.
Word.
I thought that was a normal childhood.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, and so my dad worked on, first he started out on B-52s, and then he by the time I was able to form conscious memories. He was on KC-10s, which is an aerial refueling tanker that actually just retired. And my dad has the I don't know if you call it unfortunate or misfortune, or I don't know, but both the planes that he served on, not the models, but the actual physical planes, both of them were selected to be preserved in museums. So
Really?
one is in Barksdale Air Force Base, and the other one is in March Air Force Base in California.
Was he were they wartime? Did they serve wars, or they just like because
during? I mean, like Desert Storm.
Word.
Yeah, but as far as I know, my dad never deployed there during that time. He went all over the place, you know.
What was, I just out of curiosity, what was 9/11 like for around
so now we're jumping ahead.
my bad.
So by the time I was in 4th or 5th grade, my dad got out, and then, so I wasn't in military setting for many years.
Oh, okay.
And so it wasn't until, so that was probably 92-ish, and I joined the Army in 2000.
That's right before 9/11.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I was at Fort Benning for basic training, and then for AIT, or what they call tech school in the Air Force, I was at Fort Sam Houston, which is in San Antonio, Texas.
It's all. Wow. Well, this is good. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
And so yeah,
I was gonna get you.
and so yeah, on 9/11, I was still 18, like I was very young and immature and probably stupid, and yeah, I remember I was in school for radiology technologist, which was my job in the Army. And between lectures and breaks, they would put on the TV every day. Same thing, put on the TV,
Right.
the news, just catch up. And then, of course, we turn on the TV this time, and all of a sudden it's just completely unexpected. No one knew what was going on, of course.
Right.
And then what surprised me most is, like, after the 10-minute break for the course, my instructor comes in, just calmly turns off the TV, and he's like, "Okay, moving on." So, and I was just like, "What?"
Right.
Like, so.
Was it like was the sound off type of thing, or was it?
No, we were watching it, but
we
had the sound on, but he just walked in and just calmly turned it off and started teaching the rest of the lecture. Like, and so I don't think a single person in that class could tell you what he talked about. Like,
Because honestly, I said, "Wow, that's good." Because I was on a line in a bank, and so the sound was off. We were all just watching it, literally, just like sounds like you were describing my
Yeah.
We just were watching, like, I thought it was
an accident.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, like a computer simulated, like in
Oh.
a piece they were doing.
Oh.
Midday, like, oh, what if?
Yeah.
Something. You know what I'm saying? And then as I got on 57, but so wait, so did you go to college and then go to the into the service? Or?
No, I mean, I wish. I mean, then I would have been an officer, but no. I enlisted straight out of high school.
Okay.
I went to Captain Shreve High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Word.
Don't really talk to many people from those years. It's just so far removed from the rest of my life, you know. So.
And then, so you were. How did you end up in college at Lowell?
I eventually ended up at UMass Amherst.
Not to skip over your service, how was that?
Yeah, it's busy.
Was it completely worth it?
It was.
It seems like it's completely.
I mean, I'm glad I did it. I mean,
beautiful sun and like,
I didn't have. Yeah, I mean, at that point in my life, I hate to sound cliche, there weren't a whole lot of other options. Like, I didn't have the grades for college at that point, nor did I have them for the maturity. No, believe it or not, I struggled with math in high school.
I hear 3 engineers every time each one of your jobs. You're engineer. Like I hear engineer. I hear mathematical brain.
Didn't click till later.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't click till later. So I just wasn't ready. Sometimes you just have to mature into something, I guess. And so I was in the Army. Ended up finishing the radiology course, of course, after 9/11.
Right.
They actually canceled our field training exercise because they locked down all the Army bases in San Antonio. And
even out there.
So we weren't sure. So all of us in that class at that time had already been what they call MOSQ'd, or we'd been qualified as combat medics.
Okay.
And so there was, the rumor mill, like we called it, Rukon 5, it's instead of DEF CON. The rumors were all over the place. Like, oh, they're going to pull you out of class and send you to Afghanistan as a medic. And right after, that day,
Right.
And this is not just like us, this is like the instructor was saying this,
Wow.
like an authority figure. So, but that didn't happen.
But they sent a bunch of people, like, you dodged a bullet. I mean, so.
Well,
yeah.
so fast forward to 2005. I'm a reservist now with the 344th Combat Support Hospital out of Queens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so then we got our orders to deploy. We were going to be taking over what they call the theater internment facility. So all of the detainees that they bring in, we were going to run the medical side of that. And so that was split between 2 or three technically locations, depending on how you look at it. There was a tiny operation somewhere else, but yeah. So half the unit ended up going to Basra or Qasr, which is the little port city in the south of Iraq, and that was Camp Bucca. Oddly enough, named after Ronald Bucca, who was in our division. He passed away on 9/11.
What?
He was a firefighter.
Wow.
And so half the unit went to Camp Bucca. And
how big is that unit?
Few hundred. So.
In Queens. This is in Queens.
Yeah.
What part of Queens is this?
Fort Totten. So it's near Bayside.
Okay.
Right near the
subway. No.
No subways. I wish. No. You had to take the 7 to the end of the line, and then hop on a bus and take a bus for like another freaking 40 minutes.
Because it's the end of something.
Oh, it's the ass end of Queens for sure. But if you have a car, that was the frustrating part. 'Cause I didn't have a car.
Right.
But if you have a car, it's like so easy to get there and so fast. But if you're taking public transit, especially from where I was living in like Harrison, New Jersey at the time, it takes friggin' forever. It took like 3 hours. I'm like you're literally traveling slower than like the lead pack in the New York City Marathon. Like they're running faster than you're traveling on public transit.
I try to tell people about how there are people in parts of Brooklyn and Queens that have never left that. I've never left that area. Like never been to Manhattan. Never left that section of.
Yeah.
Like,
they're all independent. They all function as like de facto towns in their own right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like a place like Far Rockaway, where a good friend of mine grew up.
Dude, that's it.
It's its own town basically.
Absolutely.
It's basically Long Island.
And just even when people think of the Chinatown in New York, they think of the one in Manhattan. The one in Queens, like
Flushing.
That is like it's like a whole. That is.
Yeah, that's the real Chinatown.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how Little Italy got. Now the sort of last vestige of the Italian neighborhood is it's way up in the Bronx now.
Right,
it's
absolutely.
Like Little Italy now and north of Canal Street. That's like a tourist attraction.
Exactly. Seriously.
But yeah,
Anyway,
I was in the Army. Because I was stationed, or because I drilled at Fort Totten. I mean, I've met some of the best people I've ever met. Like, they're still my family after all these years.
From that area, from Fort Totten,
from all over the world.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a slice of New York in and of itself.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, you got the Caribbean delegation.
Exactly.
You've got like I swear, like every island was represented in some way in that unit, and like. It was just
in the unit.
So these are people that I served with, and like we had a reunion last September, and it was just like one of the highlight of my year. It was it was amazing.
You said you were split. Some went to Basra. Where did you go?
So I first went to Basra, or Qasr. Basra is like the province, but anyway, I first went to Camp Bucca, and I was there. Because, looking at it on paper when we were doing our mobilization, pre-mob training and all that, looking at it on paper, there were more detainees at Camp Bucca than at Abu Ghraib.
Really?
And so we've put, initially out of the gate, we staffed Camp Bucca with more people because we thought that's where the need was.
Right.
But once we got there, we realized that the need was actually up north at Abu Ghraib. And so after 2 months, they did some shuffling, and I was one of the people who got shuffled. And so I ended up having to pack all my stuff, throw it on the back of a Hemet, which is this massive, like, 10-wheeled truck thing, and hop on MSR Tampa, what we call it, Route 1, and drive 300, however many kilometers it was. It took all day. All the way up to Abu Ghraib.
And so you guys did you see, like, were you guys... You get insurgency type stuff?
It was, yeah. Like, so Abu Ghraib this is in the thick of, this was 2005.
Wow. So this is like, yeah, you guys.
This is like the peak of what they call the surge.
Word.
And, yeah, it was busy.
I mean. Was this Shock and Awe? No, Shock and Awe was the 90s.
Shock and Awe was 2003.
Oh, that was, okay. That was,
yeah.
So
that was Shock and Awe for Iraq. 2005 was Shock and Awe for us.
And so, did you guys lose people in your
we definitely lost people that were on our base.
Okay.
But thankfully we didn't lose anyone in our unit.
Your unit, that's what
which is yeah, we had guys that were on a convoy that got hit with an IED. But it was none of our guys were affected. Well, none of our guys were injured.
How and so, like, just to get at, like, was it, so it wasn't, you seem like you're dealing with whatever
I mean, that's the Army, right? I mean, especially with these clowns that I served with. I mean, it's just like they're just, we relied on each other.
Word.
And, like, I think to some extent today we still do, even though we've just scattered to the four winds.
So this is, we're sort of getting up to, and I don't want, but this is, because I love, like I said, one of my first things I wanted to do was join the military because I wanted to fly planes. This top, like,
yeah, I wanted to be a pilot too as a kid.
Seriously.
Yeah, so, more than anything.
And then when I first got kicked out of home, I got kicked out of college. My mom's kicked me out of the house. I was knocking doors, selling books and magazines, but I was really into drums. This guy on the door, he's like, "You like music? You know who has the best band in the world? It's the I think it's the Marines are the best drummers." And he almost sold me like this two times. From being why do we have the best? Why do we have the best military? Is it like why do we keep people going? Is it would you
like we funnel a ton of money into it, right? I mean,
right. Is that what it is? The concept? It's a machine. It's just
it is. I mean, it's complicated, right? I mean, like anything else, it's nuanced. There's no black and white. I feel like, a lot of volunteers, recruits end up coming. I mean, I'll just call the elephant in the room, from poorer areas.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is what it is. I mean, kids that don't really have a whole lot of other options and a whole lot of other avenues to get out of that situation. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just
turning into the best soldiers. Apparently, are we the best soldiers in the world?
I mean, I'd like to think so.
Okay, yeah. So we're doing a good job.
The guys I served with, and the men and women I served with were, I to this day trust them with my life.
Amen.
They're just, I love those guys. They're my family.
And so what would have been the difference? What is there? It is a huge difference coming out of college and going into the military, and then
coming in as a non-traditional student.
You don't have to go through the same basic training or anything like that. Like, it's not.
Oh no! So I did the Army first at 18.
Right.
And then after 8 years of service, I got out in 2008.
Okay.
And I moved to DC, and I rode the wave for a little while. I had this training as a radiology tech in the Army.
Were you taking pictures at this time?
Oh yeah. So I have a bunch of pictures. Maybe you can include some in the B-roll. I have a whole folder of photos I took in Iraq, and a bunch of them. A couple of them were pictured in Stars and Stripes.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of when I got into it. I mean, I was taking pictures a little bit before that. I think I got my first camera in 2003.
You ever see Full Metal Jacket?
Oh, that's my favorite movie.
I can absolutely see you.
It's my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
Dude, I can absolutely see you, dude.
Yeah. I'm basically Private Joker. Like,
dude, that I can absolutely. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my favorite movie.
That is,
I mean, I like it.
That's my first war movie that my mom she
Yeah.
wouldn't let me see RoboCop.
Oh, really?
The first scene so bloody, but she let me see Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, I feel like is more effed up than.
Oh no, it's way more. No, it's way more.
Because like Full Metal Jacket is like it gets into your head.
Right.
It's like.
It was just the RoboCop's first scene was pretty. It was homie shot up the whole. But this was, and I think I had romanticized the military, or like I had the army men, as my
me too.
That was my first.
I mean, I feel like a lot of kids do, right? I mean, that's just kind of part of growing up.
In America, I think we do a great job because again, I have a strain of me that I call Batman that I don't like to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have a thing that and it's happened here twice in Brattleboro where I have stuck up for I just don't like bullies.
Just a stranger?
Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk. But like, is that like...
So, yeah, I got into... Were we talking about photography? Or?
Right, yeah, but so like you're into, I was getting you off topic, but so yeah, for you taking pictures, taking pictures.
So I had a good friend of mine. We're still friends to this day. He got me an Olympus digital camera, just a little point and shoot.
Was that in?
This is in 2003. So so I was in the Army, but this is a friend, a civilian friend. You know, just a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, still is. And I think we were at like Best Buy in like East Hanover, New Jersey or something. And if I'm even getting the town right, but he saw that I really liked this camera. And back then, digital cameras weren't cheap.
But you said it was a what type of camera?
It was an Olympus stylus.
Okay, yeah.
So it was just a three.
Point. You said point. Yeah, point.
Yeah, just a little point and shoot. I still have it hanging on my wall for posterity. And that kind of like. That's kind of like the spark I needed. Right. It was the excuse of like, all right, now you got the camera, you got the memory card, you got the Metro card. Right. Go out, just take pictures.
Now we're back. Now the cameras. Okay.
Yeah.
We got two cameras here.
Yep.
And let's go from the smaller one first.
Okay.
Are they both Mamiyas?
No. So this one is a Hasselblad. I feel very fortunate to have this. This is I was never planning on getting one because these are very, very pricey. But one came up for sale at Vermont the photo thrift store, VCP Photo Thrift. It's right on Green Street. One came up for sale last year, and the price was very fair for what these usually run. And I just decided, well, if I pass this up, there won't be another. Right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. And
this is beautiful.
It's just a work of art in and of itself. And you hear the cliche when guys have like classic cars and they say like, I'm not really the owner, I'm just its current curator. I'm just the custodian of this machine until my time on this planet is gone. That's kind of how I feel like with this. Like this is like on a much smaller scale, just an absolute work of art. Like both of them are in their own way, but this one I feel like is just a beautiful machine.
Are these still in production?
No. Hasselblad still exists, but they make digital cameras now, and and much like back then, they're still insanely expensive, catered to the upper tiers of the global income brackets.
And who would you say is using the
who uses new Hasselblads professionally? Yeah, just your very upper crust of like studio photographers and just people with a ton of money.
Right. And now like that pops up or like what's
so this has what's called a ground glass. You can look through there. It gets a little bit used to, so there's a mirror in here at a 45-degree angle, and so whatever's left is right and right is left, so it does take a little bit of getting used to. And you can use this little magnifier here to sort of find focus.
So when you look down at the thing you're shooting at, it'll be...
It's a mirrored image of what you're looking at. So you You get used to it.
It's your eyeball image pre.
Yeah.
Flipping?
Well, that eyeball's flipped vertically, right?
Okay.
This is left to right.
Oh, okay.
It's just yeah.
Oh, that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just,
Where?
yeah.
Oh, it does that. Okay. I thought it was upside down.
No, it's not upside down. You got torn down.
The A&P is old, man.
Yeah. So the A&P got torn down. The old, I want to say Haskell, but that's not right. Herrick House.
The Herrick
The
House.
Herrick House got picked up and moved behind the church, and it eventually got torn.
But I did not know this was the oldest building in downtown.
Yeah, 1843. There's a little plaque on the side. It actually, the core of this church used to be on the common.
Another plug-in.
They moved it here. Yeah. They moved it here. I forget the exact year, but
That's crazy. Okay.
So you gotta zoom.
But wait, so that thing is just a focus. That's not that belt, that the accordion.
Yeah. So it's just a focus. The focal length doesn't change, so you get what you get in terms of your frame. It's up to you to change it.
So we're going for the steeple.
So again, Center Congregational Church, oldest building downtown. Can kind of.
Let's see if we can.
I'll get you in there in a second. So I'll frame up my shot.
This is Josh. I'm getting ready to
It's
shoot
kind of an
this.
involved process. So
Word. No, this is a process. The process.
No process.
Now, what's that?
this is a cable release.
And that's how you take the picture.
You can take it this way. You can hand hold it as well. But typically for using a tripod, I'll use cable release. So essentially, you can look down in there. You can kind of see that it's almost like a 3D.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So the whole procedure is kind of
beautiful.
involved. First, you pull the dark slide out. So there's my dark slide. And then you take the safety off. Typically, you meter the shot. I use my cell phone to do it. So what's the smallest? 32. So let's go to 32. All right. So I'll go all the way down to f32. 1/25 of a second. So we'll refocus here. I change my aperture.
And what did you just do there?
I just refocused since I adjusted my aperture. But if you focus down in there, I'll take a picture.
Yeah.
You'll see the shutter. You'll see the curtain come up.
Yep.
Just like
Nice.
that. And then you can reset it.
Nice. Looks like James Bond. The James Bond.
Yeah.
Nice.